Today we are going to talk about how to grow springtails. Springtails are tiny little arthropods that will consume mold and fungi, and is extremely useful in terrariums. They are also very easy to cultivate, and described that springtail is basically revolutionary for keeping terrariums and growing moss, as you no longer need a lot of chemicals to keep the moss not moldy anymore, and you can easily make a bioactive environment that enables nutrient cycling and establish a mini food chain inside the ecosystem of your terrarium. Since springtails eats mold and fungi and bacteria, and also they like to live in a moist environment, this makes them very easy to cultivate. So springtails reproduce in two main ways. They can reproduce sexually and asexually by parthenogenesis. So usually springtails would perform sexual reproduction, which means that the male will need to lay the sperm packets onto the substrate area, which then the female will pick up. Therefore, we will need to find a stable and sturdy substrate that will provide a large surface area for the springtails to perform their sexual reproduction and also laying their eggs on, and as well as doesn't go bad that easily in soggy environment. In this video, I will teach you guys how to grow springtails at home easily. So firstly, you need to choose a substrate. Many people use cocoa coir, activated charcoal. Some would even use clay-based substrates. However, from my experience, I realized that there's one substrate that's far superior than any other, and you guessed it, it is lava rock. I actually used this lava rock for 3 times already, as you can wash the lava rock and use it for some other purposes. Since lava rock is a well-draining substrate and also contains a lot of minerals, it will be a very good environment for the springtails to breed in. As I observed that springtails usually are found near or under the rocks, which also have a lot of minerals as well. This helps to simulate their environment and make them more comfortable to breed and proliferate. So firstly, you will need some lava rock enough to cover around 1 to 2 centimeters of the base of the container. Of course, you can use more if you want to, but I suggest using up to 1 inch would be the best solution. It is just that if it's too shallow, it actually reduces the capacity to hold the springtail and also it dries out quicker. You should first wash your lava rock to remove the debris. Then you can rinse it with filtered water. After that, you can prepare a container, and ideally you should have around 2 to 3 air holes. You don't need too much ventilation. You fill up your container with the lava rock or whatever substrate that you prefer, and then you will add a little bit of water. After that, you can add in the springtails. I suggest against just pouring the springtail with the old water in, as it can cause some cross-contamination and potentially shorten the lifespan of this new culture. What I do is that I will gently blow the springtails that is in the current culture, and they will land and jump into the new culture container. I suggest transferring around 100 to 200, and then it should be sufficient for this size of container. What you feed is that you feed some white rice, and you put 3 to 6 grains of rice into the container. This rice will then go moldy in a controlled manner, which then the springtails can feed on. I found that using active dry yeast or fish food is not good, as it can attract mice. And if you are afraid of mice, you can actually get a filter floss or some cotton balls to plug the holes on the lid. Or you can essentially put it in a different room where you put the isopods or places that have mice to prevent cross-contamination. When you put your springtails, you should aim to put it in somewhere dark or dimmer environment, as springtails is more or less nocturnal organisms, and they'll be more comfortable in the dark. Also, make sure to put them in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to put it in a closed cabinet, or else they might not have enough oxygen. I think that this culture will go off in 2 to 4 weeks, and it will be ready for harvest soon. Then you can use it for terrariums by opening the lid and then you can blow it into the new terrarium. Or you can start another culture instead. Now you can also see my other attempt in making a culture, but with a bigger lunchbox. I first made 4 holes around it on the lid. Then I filled it with lava rock. Then I added water, and I put in the springtail, and I put in the rice, and I closed the lid. Then the springtail will grow well. If you have any question, feel free to comment down below. This is an ultra compact video. If you have anything you want to see, please make sure to comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos as well. I like to film the isopod at midnight.